And
welcome back to SCV today.
No, you are. No, I am.
I am. No, you are.
All right, go.
So we have with us Mark Montoya and Tim Traurig.
Awesome.
Did I say it right?
You got it perfect.
That's
my
why I
gosh.
wanted you to bring us back in.
It's such a tongue twister. I don't know what Traurig, because it's not really. Is it really? I gotta see this. I guess it is spelled the way it's pronounced,
Don't
right?
show my writing on
Traurig?
TV.
You guys are from A Light of Hope, and today we're promoting Be the Light 5K run. So I want to start off with you, Tim, and talk a little bit about Light of Hope, what it is, and why you started this organization.
Yeah, A Light of Hope came about because of our own family experiences. I have 3 daughters, and 2 of them had drug and alcohol issues that required them to be put in multiple rehabs. And trying to save their lives. And when they'd come back into the community after really working hard on their sobriety and trying to stay clean, there wasn't really anything to support us as a family, us as parents, them as young people trying to get their life back. And we really felt called to start an organization that would provide the kind of support that we wish we could have had as parents dealing with our kids. So 7 years ago, my wife and I started A Light of Hope, and we partnered with a gentleman named Steve Markley, who's been working with young people for 35, 36 years, used to work with Carol Burnett's daughter back in the day, and some really great people that understand addiction, how it works in young people. And so A Light of Hope came about, and we provide weekly support services for youth 14 to 26, struggling with substance abuse issues, depression, suicide, cutting, mild eating disorders, you name it, any kind of self-destructive action or behavior. And as well as their families, with weekly support groups for the families, grandparents, parents, brothers, sisters. And then on the weekends, we have activities and events that we call alternative peer groups. And what we found out, one of the things that was really tough for my girls was coming back into the community, you so want to pull back to your old peer group. And there's power in a peer group. Right. Negative influence, positive influence. We realized, hey, you know what, if a peer group can have that much influence in young people's lives, a negative one, a positive one can do the same. And so we create these activities on the weekends where young people who aren't used to being having fun, laughing, and having a good time, clean and sober, without drugs or alcohol being in the mix, they can come and have these amazing fun times on the weekends and go places, broomball at the ice station, barbecues, hangouts, you name it. And for some of them, it's the first time they've really had a great time without drugs or alcohol being there. And being around a bunch of safe and sober kids that are working on getting their lives back. And it's a tough road.
And parental support, do you provide support and groups to help the parents that are
Absolutely, that's a huge part. About 80%, I think, of the success of young people is their family involvement. The parents and families have to learn how to deal with somebody that's struggling with these kinds of issues. Addiction's a horrible disease.
And it can happen to anyone, as you know. You're a retired fireman.
That's right.
You're a very well-rounded, good person.
I taught my kids about drugs and alcohol, and it happened.
That's what I think about those peer groups you talk about. I mean, you raise your kids as well as you can, and then they just slip into the wrong group, and next thing you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we get a false sense as parents sometimes that we can control everything our kids can do, and they get to a certain age. I mean, we raise them to become independent someday and become their own people, and they start to make their own decisions, and sometimes those decisions aren't good ones and can lead them into things that can be very self-destructive, and they need help getting out of that. And we also have a full counseling center. We have therapists and addiction counselors that work with our families and young people to help deal with some of the roots of why young people might be using. Majority of these young people, what you find out is there's some root causes. The drugs and the alcohol and those kinds of issues are just symptoms of a deeper issue. Those are just the symptoms. We go after really what the root of the issue is, and that takes some piloting by people who are experienced and trained to understand how to help young people deal with traumas and things that they may have gone through.
Right.
Man, Tim's talked about this before.
Wow. Yeah.
Man. So Mark, tell us about the run coming up. 5K run.
Okay.
You were with us last year. I
That's
remember
right.
vividly you were on the show because I'm very passionate about teens and their recovery because I've been around it for so long. So I remember we had a great show last year. And how'd that run turn out last year?
It was amazing last year. It was
I knew
the
it would
first
be.
time we did it. We thought, we'd be lucky to get 50 people to show up for our first round event. We had 250 people register and pay to participate in our event, and a bunch of volunteers and people there to cheer. And I would just say that visually it was striking and it was quite emotional. You know, God gave us a great sunset that night,
Yeah, it was
and the energy was amazing, and it was just so successful. And we just want to keep building on that. And so, you know, our job is to put on for Santa Clarita really a first-rate, I would say, the premier nighttime 5K. There aren't many of them.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe second only to the World Run, the Wings for Life World Run. Right?
Yeah, right.
So if you loved that, you're going to love this here. So really, it's going to be on Saturday, September 26th, 7 p.m. It's going to just be getting dark right about that time. We'll kick off from West Creek Park, and it sits right on the San Francisco Creek Trail, which I would say is probably the best running trail 5K loop you can get right there. And there are some sections of the trail that are unlit. It's all paved, but that's going to allow you to you know, you have your light on. So I brought some props here. So we want people to
bring
to
your
really,
headlights.
you know.
Headlights
This thing
and
gonna
glow
blink
sticks.
for me?
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
blinking. You're lit up.
Atta boy.
All right,
You are lit up.
And then we got, you know, you got the glow stuff, which we're gonna provide in the
Are
goodie
you
bag.
providing the lights too, or everyone- people need to bring their own?
Good point. People need to pick up their own. You can go to some of the local hardware stores and things like that, and you can find them pretty cheap. You probably get some for like
Or
$4 to
maybe
$10.
some great sponsor would see this and provide them.
That would be amazing.
That's right. Oh yes. Come to our
Eve
website.
Bushman, get on that.
Yeah. Come on.
So I would just say that if anybody wants to get in touch with us, go to BeTheLight5K.org, and for anything, to participate, to sponsor, to donate, you can do it all there. I want to show off our awesome medal from last year, and so we'll do another medal this year. But you know, just to give you an idea of the quality you're going to get. And then also the T-shirt that I am wearing right now, and I'm sorry, I'm driving your cameraman crazy.
No, they like that. Don't worry.
You know, so
It keeps them awake.
you know, our different materials that we've put up. So, you know, we're putting a lot into this, and we're already seeing a great response from the community, and we just want everybody to come and be a part of this. And it's so much more than just a 5K race. It is an opportunity to inspire other people. A lot of the families from A Light of Hope, the kids, the moms, the dads, the siblings are going to be there, and they're going to see the community come together in this amazing display of love and support. And on top of that, you know, we are informing the community about the problem of you know, as Tim was talking about, and that there's hope. You know, if somebody becomes addicted, it is not a death sentence. It is not a life sentence. There's hope. There's healing. Tim, we know people that were addicts, and they're the most healthy, whole, awesome people that we know.
Amazing.
And so that's what we want to say to the community. And then lastly, it's equipping. We're going to raise money, not just to keep the doors open, to expand and to reach more kids, to reach more families in the community, because we really believe in what we're doing. We think it's really
I have
needed.
a question for you. We're talking about addiction and those that are addicted. What about parents out there that they know that their child, I know that they've kind of dabbled, I know that they're kind of testing the waters a little bit. Can they come to your organization
Absolutely.
as well?
Absolutely.
Because I think if we can call these kids off from going that next step, I think
Preventative.
that's just so important
Absolutely.
to do that,
Yeah.
because I think we're very ignorant to think that most of them aren't going to try something. But I think once you feel like they're at that point, to get them involved with something like this would be really
It's
important.
like
Be ahead of the
cancer.
game.
It's like cancer. The sooner you intervene, the better
Right.
chance you have to deal with, you know, what's going on. And I'd say a majority of the parents that come in will say, "Oh, my kid's not using any of that stuff. It's just marijuana." And about a month or two later, we find out, well, it wasn't just marijuana. It was a lot more than that. And parents can come with or without their kids being involved in our program, because we really are a support system for families and parents. So even if their children don't come to the support groups or are in treatment, or they don't know where their kids are, they can come and get support and find out how to, you know, deal with some of those issues. And Be the Light is just a great way to, like Mark said, get the word out. We have some great sponsors that have, you know, really jumped into the community as a whole is really pulled together.
I see Firehouse
Firehouse
subs there.
subs,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you know, fire department. That's
Yeah.
kind of dear to my heart. So
Yeah.
they are a great, our great sponsor this year, and they are a big part of what we're doing. And it's neat to see the community come together. We have a couple of churches that are actually doing something very special and unique. I won't spoil the surprise, but there will be a couple of surprises on the trail this year for our runners that is really different. Looks like we're going to double our attendance at least from last year.
Wow.
It's growing, and I'd love to have you guys come out with your calorie counter and do our 5K.
Well, she's in shape now. We could actually do that. It's hard when you have a partner that doesn't really do anything outside. But now that she's in shape, we can actually go
Maybe
out.
you could make that one of your, Tammy and Mike hikes. It could be,
I
Absolutely.
think we should. I think we could
Be
do
awesome.
That would be really cool. We could video on the way. Yeah,
it'd be
a lot
great.
of fun.
It'd be really great.
It'd be a
We'd
lot-
love
and
to
I
have
never-
you.
And I'm not a runner, but maybe I can learn to run.
Well, baby
between now and
steps.
Well, you
September
can walk
28th.
too. It's a walk run. So,
Okay.
and we also have moms with
Sun will
babes
be
and
coming up,
strollers.
Samuel and I. There you go.
And dogs. We had some dogs go run with some of the runners last year, and they decorate them with all the glow stuff, and it's really great. It's really a family
Strollers are
community
fine.
time. Yeah.
I know you guys are looking
family.
for volunteers as well. So even if you don't want to run, you can still volunteer.
Yeah.
Correct?
And you know what's really cool this year is we have teams. We've got about 20 teams right now.
Probably about 10, 15 teams at this
Okay.
point. Yes,
Yeah,
but very enthusiastic teams. Some big teams. One team in particular, the Warriors of Light. 50 people
on their team.
on a team.
Yeah.
So some people have really stepped up, and the team concept is really taken off. So
Wow.
And everybody gets chipped, so you get your time and everything is recorded. We give away medals or awards to the top 3 places.
That's right. So it'll be a 5K type event. So typically with a cross country race, as people on a given team come in, they record their place, and then you add them up at the end of the event, and the team with the lowest number wins. So we're going to award first, second, and third place for the team competition. It's just another
And
way
what about
to
the
get involved.
individuals?
Individuals, it'll be by age group, by sex.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so
We
much.
really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I hope we
Look
see you
forward to
guys there.
Yeah, I don't
No,
see
you
why
will.
not.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go put it on the calendar right now.
Okay, cool.
Right this
All right,
second.
well, stay
So-
tuned. When we come back, we have Kim Goldman from the SCV Youth Project talking about Comics for a Cause coming up real soon.